Whoa, we just got back from seeing Avatar 2, The Way of Water. This isn't going to be a review as such about the film. I chose to go and see it in 4DX. My relationship with Avatar and 4D is a bit of a tricky one, and I'll explain why. So, never ever got to see Avatar the original. Not for lack of wanting to, but at the time, I think I was like 13. I remember vividly saying to my friends at school, we should go and see this new Avatar, state of the art, it's going to be amazing. The guy who made Titanic is going to be involved. It's in 3D, you gotta go check it out. Come, let's do it. And their response was sort of, Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs is also in 3D, so fuck Avatar. And that's kind of where that ended. Then fast forward to 2022, I knew this new one was going to come out, so I took myself to see it. Nobody else really had the patience to go and watch the film, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go by myself, and I watched it just before Christmas, and it was great. That time it was in IMAX 3D. Here's where I made the mistake this time. I went in 4D, which was a stupid decision. This isn't going to have any spoilers in it, by the way, this video, and I'll try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. You'll realise why it has no spoilers when I explain. So I kind of like woke up today and was like, okay, it's Avatar Day, let's go. Booked it all, got it all sorted, had 2 joints rolled and a few edibles, and I thought, let's go down and again, go by myself, make it a solo thing, let's make Avatar, because it's meant to come out like every 5-6 years, 10 years, 15 years, you know, but there's like 7 of them planned. If we're around for the next fucking 7 films, let's go and watch them all by myself. It could be like a cool little thing that I get to do. So the day I woke up and it was so sunny outside, it was so bright, and I hate going to the cinema when it's a sunny day. I hate it. It just feels, and I mean, it's February, okay, so it wasn't like roasting, but it's still like a waste because you just kind of think, I don't want to be sitting in a dark room whenever it's like a vibe outside. So I got myself up. I watched the recap of the first film because even though I only watched it for the very first time in November, couldn't tell you what happened to it because all you're really focusing on in that movie is the visuals. You don't really care about the plot as much as you try to. Off I went, and I kind of had hesitations because I was like, I have other things to be doing here. Editing it needs done. Do I really have time to be sitting for 3.5 hours watching fucking Avatar? I just thought, you know what, Zayne, take the time, have a little day to yourself and just go. So I did. Purposely didn't have a smoke or anything until I got right to the cinema. That didn't stop me having some completely stupid little moments on the way there though. So here's just one of them, and I want to rant about this very quickly because if I don't rant about it, it'll stay up here rotting away, just kind of go, remember that time, man? Remember that time this happened? So here it is. I went into a shop and bought a few things. It's a shop I freaking all the time. Lovely people. And I think whatever I bought came to like $2.40. So I handed in the money and went, keep the change, man. I meant to walk out, okay? And he calls me back and goes, there's not enough. I was like, what the fuck? It's $2.40. Turns out I handed him £1 coin instead of 2. But Jesus, that moment. I said it now, it doesn't feel that bad. See, once you say these things and speak about them, they're not that bad once you say it loud, but fucking hell. But it happened, I was like, people think it's bad saying you too to a waiter whenever they say enjoy your food. This was worse. But I feel great now, I took my chest, walked around to the cinema, into the screen. The cinema was empty. And then the paranoia kicks in when you walk in and realise, like, bear in mind, I haven't been early or on time for that matter to a film, either by myself or on a date or with friends. I have never been on time for a fucking movie starting in about 12 years. No, that's a lie. The last film I was on time for was Trainspotting 2, and that was like 5 years ago. That shows you how long it's been, right? And the reason why is I always hated having to sit through fucking trailers. I hated it. So to walk in on fucking time, not just on time, fucking early. The theatre was empty. No one's there. The screen's like not even proper, like nothing's really happening. And I'm sitting going, am I on the wrong screen or what the fuck's the crack? It said 4:10. No, man, no. Turned out it wasn't. Then this little married couple came in. I checked on the app before I booked the tickets. It said there'd be like 11 people there, which obviously is not much, but you know, it's more than 3. Turned out, no, there wasn't. Then guys must have seen the sun as well and thought, fuck, we're not going. So I'm sitting there, this married couple come in, and it's like, shit, they start looking all shifty as if like they're in the wrong seats or in the wrong theatre. I'm like, fuck, I have to ask them, and by this point the trailers are like, the adverts are on, so it's really loud, and I'm shouting over to them, is this the screen for Avatar? And they're like, what? And I'm like, Avatar? And they're shouting shit back, and then the wife like wants to come and speak to me, and the husband's trying to find a seat, and it's all, and I'm like, Avatar? Yeah. I was like, thank fuck, okay. So, filming started again for an hour, fucking 20 minutes, and by this point, your highs wearing off, and not may sound silly after 20 minutes, but believe me, the whole hype, it was just sucked away. They played the fucking Mario trailer, which was a film I was excited to go and watch, but now I'm like, fuck that. They played it 3 times in 4D. The first time was great. By the third time, you're like, what? Every advert and trailer was in 4D, but it's like just stupid rocking up the chair, and just by the time the film starts, you're over the gimmick. Here's where my previous experience with 4D 4D comes out. I've only been to see a 4DX film once before today. At some point last year, me and my friend were out for a couple of drinks. It was the night that Batman was opening the cinema, and he took a real notion to go and see it, like the midnight screening. So we're sitting having a whiskey, and he was like, wanna go and see Batman? I kind of thought, you know what, fuck it, why not? There's worse things you could be doing with your night. So yeah, let's go see Batman. Bear in mind, I have very little interest in Batman, okay? I've tried my best to get into superhero films and just kind of go, but I thought, fuck it, we're having a few whiskeys, it'll be fun. If it's 4D, it'll just be an adventure. So he was really psyched as like a Batman fanboy, and I fell asleep, and I have never in my life fell asleep in any movie in the cinema ever. The fact that it was fucking 4D and I managed to fall asleep in it is hilarious. Everyone else was enjoying it, and I'm literally sitting like this and just getting jolted about, and you've the glasses on, so like Corey didn't even know I was sleeping. He's like reacting, probably being like, oh man, I'm assuming, being like, did you see that part? And I'm like, I couldn't tell you what happened in the film, I've no idea. But I thought, you know what, maybe I just fell asleep because I had a bit to drink, a bit sleepy, it was like midnight, and Batman isn't really my cup of tea. So maybe that's why I fell asleep. Maybe I'll give 4DX another try. No, saying, you stupid little dickhead. So what I should have done was went to IMAX. Here's why. Adverts had finished and we're into the movie, and I was like, right, try and just relax, get the high back, let's focus, right? Don't worry about the editing you have to do, don't worry about the computer to pee in your fucking hole, just focus. Let's enjoy Pandora, that's the name of the planet in the film. Sure enough, the chair started swaying, but not as obnoxiously fucking irritatingly as it was before, just kind of swaying with the camera. And I was like, finally, because the thing is with trailers and adverts, I'm sure they're just kind of done on a rush. James Cameron obviously must have designed some kind of way he wanted this to be in 4D. I was just along for the ride. Honestly, about 15 minutes in it, my mind starts wandering, and I'm thinking of things like random shit. I remember thinking about, I was like, when was the first time I played San Andreas, like the GTA game? I went, oh, wouldn't it be nice to play, like, I think, was it 2004, 2005? And I was like, oh, I got it for Christmas 2004, so that may mean that I was playing it majority 2005. I was like, fair enough, yeah, because it came out in October of the year before that. And I'm like, that's what I'm thinking, watching a film that took, well, how many years to make? It was 13 years. This blockbuster film that, by the way, I don't know if this is important, but I kind of think it is, cost £16 a ticket for 4D. So £16 to go and watch a movie is pretty fucking steep, and it's 3.5 hours long. So they're explaining the plot and stuff at the start, and I'm like thinking of GTA San Andreas, a burger place nearby, that I was like, would I want to get that burger tonight, or should I get McDonald's because the big tasty meal is only available till February 14th? Do I get that, or do I get the burger nearby? That's what I'm thinking. And I'm like, if you miss one part of what they're fucking explaining in this film, you're done. You're sitting here for the next 3 hours not having a clue what's going on. You're gonna be fucking done. So it was like, snap out of this and pay attention. I couldn't do it. There were some parts where I was like, okay, but every time I was trying to enjoy the plot, then it would shake and jolt, and you're like, fuck me. The film obviously is called Avatar: The Way of Water, so I'm expecting there'd be a lot of water. It took about an hour in the film for that to actually happen. There was one part that, this is weird, right? There was one part that I really loved, and it's, again, no spoilers. This is not like a spoiler. If you think this is a spoiler, cry. People are playing in the water, okay? Catch a fish, and the fish like moves, and this is quite early on in the film, and when the fish moves, it like splashes you in the face, sort of, with a little like, and it's just the right proportion of water in the face that you kind of go, that's what I expect that fish to do. Just, you'll get, if you ever watch it, or if you have watched it, you'll get that, right? But then later on in the film, and there's parts where it's raining, and you can obviously like feel a little bit of rain, okay? Later on in the film, there's fucking pandemonium, chaos, obviously. Again, not a spoiler, it's an action film. Obviously, the end's chaos, right? You're expecting there to be a lot of water hitting you at this point, because there's more fucking water on the screen than there ever has been in the whole film. Nothing. Not even like a little splash, or nothing. Now and then you had a little bit of like mist coming out, but like nothing, like just shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Were they hoping by like the time you got to the last act you just forget you paid £16 for a 4D film? Also, I was promised smell-o-vision. That's something that's meant to be part of this package of 4D. Didn't smell fuck all. I kept smelling like a new car scent, but I think that's because the cinema that I was in has only recently opened, so that may just be like the seats, I don't know. But no fucking smell. And she was cooking like fish on the fire, and I'm like, why did I not smell the fire? I paid £16 to smell the fire. Speaking of fire, the fucking cinema was freezing. I wore this jacket. It's a 3.5 hour long film. It's tight. It's not what I want to do. So take it off. I'm sitting. Now, this film takes place on a fucking tropical island. I'm like, it should be warm. Then there's parts where there's fire, like absolute fire being pushed your way. I'm like, why do I not feel fire? When it was Batman, that's one thing I remember. When there was fire in it, I felt the heat. It was like, what the fuck? This is insane. They didn't do that for this one. And I'm like, it's fucking Avatar. There should be heat. This is James Cameron's big fucking like passion project. Where's the heat? I think James Cameron would be fucking fuming, turning in his grave if he was dead. Cineworld just wanted to save money because obviously heat costs more to produce than it does to do water effects or cold mist or air. Clearly that's the case. So you had a mix of the theaters heating just being bullshit and the actual immersion in the parts where it was like out in the open and they're up high flying and stuff. Then it's cold and you're like, you don't need that extra layer. The last thing we need is coldness for extra immersion here. Where the cold immersion will be good though, and speaking of James Cameron, is as I was coming up the escalator, I seen huge billboard for Titanic in 4DX. So despite all this ranting about 4D and how IMAX is the way forward, because I think IMAX is probably the most immersive you'll ever actually get. You don't have this stupid fucking, every time someone gets shot, you'll have a little punch in the back of your chair or a kick, and it literally feels like a kick. It feels like there's a kid behind you kicking the fuck out of your back. Why does anyone pay £16 to feel like someone's kicking them for 3 hours? I did. And here's the thing, I'll probably do it again. In fact, I will do it again because Titanic is, to me, one of the most important films ever. It's the soundtrack, man. Maybe it's because I'm from the city where it was built, I don't know, but the soundtrack is just beautiful. I love it. I mean, them 3 hours can go by like that. I've watched that film so many times that it probably amounts to about 24 hours. So I'll be going to see that when it's out, and that will be 4D. I mean, why would you not? I'm not really sure why it's back out again, randomly. But fuck it, I won't complain. Why rock the boat? Pun intended. But that's where the cool immersion will be good. Because, I mean, Atlantic Ocean, iceberg, I can't wait to see what they do there. I guess in a nutshell though, Cineworld, stop the fucking cheap cuts. Because really, it's very clear. I was reading like a review about Avatar in 4DX, trying to decide whether to go on IMAX or 4D. And it swayed me because the reviewer promised like tropical smells and beautiful sort of like heat and stuff. You know, things that just didn't manifest because cheapness prevailed. Maybe it's my fault for going on a random show on like, no, it's not my fault. Okay, it's not. That's my thoughts on it and what a weird one it was. As for the film itself, it would be unfair to me to give it a negative review based on the fact that my fucking brain kept drifting away. Maybe that's the fact that I just had it on my mind. Maybe it's the fact that the strain I was smoking was more of a sativa. I don't know. But the thing is, you know, it held my attention more than Batman, I'll give it that. The first one kind of stays in my heart more. Even though I never watched the first one all those years, I held off all those years on watching the first one. When it left the cinema in 2009, I thought, well, I've missed my chance. Streaming services weren't a thing really. And then it came on Disney Plus and stuff. Even then, even if it was in 4K, I was like, I'm not watching it until it's back in the cinema. And like I said, I finally went last year in preparation for this. Was it worth it? You know what, it's a feast for the eyes at the end of the day. Plot isn't really the most remarkable thing ever. I really don't understand why James Cameron wants to have 7 films in this franchise. I don't get how the plot can really stretch that long. He may hope, and this actually reminds me of something that the married couple said to me at the end of the film, because it turned out by the end there only ever was 3 of us that came. So whenever we were leaving, the husband said to me, you know, did you enjoy it? And I said, yeah. And I told him how the next one isn't meant to be out for like a load of years yet. And he said, well, I hope I'm alive to see the end of it. Which, yeah, don't we all? But the thing is, James Cameron may fucking hope the actors are alive to see the end of it, because 7 films and it took him 13 years to make the second one. Yeah, I could be doing the review of Avatar 7 when I'm in a nursing home. God forbid. Do I regret going to see it? Not really. It is what it is. I just know that if I'm alive for the third one, I'll be going the IMAX. The IMAX is probably where it's going to be from now on for that shit. But yeah, Avatar 2, crazy vibes. And this part might be a little bit of a spoiler. It seems like they're going to be setting it in the water for the foreseeable. I think the first one really stuck out the beauty of the forest environment, whereas this one was all water, which should have been great, and it was great, but it just felt like it kind of got a little bit more repetitive. There's only so much you can see in and around an island in water, and I think they utilised the island a little bit less than what they could have. So that's just a little, if I'm going to give it a review on anything really, that's probably it. I bet you there's a huge shadow behind me in this whole video, which is going to be fucking delightful to edit. That's the last thing I needed, is the more things to edit. I'm in such a ranty mood today, guys. But yes, Avatar, go watch it if you want to get high and want a feast for the eyes, but I probably would try and stay away from the 4D. Who knows, we could be doing another rant about this after going to see Titanic. I wonder what the iceberg will feel like. And I hope, you know the scene where Jack's having dinner in first class? I want to be able to smell the roast dinner. That's all I want. It's just to smell the dinner and kind of go, yeah, I'm in Titanic. That's it. Is that asking too much? So that's about it, guys. Little mini review for a film. I just may do more of these. They're kind of fun. So yeah, stay sovereign and stay away from 4DX.